Here we go. On today's Skies Volley podcast, the Cubs offense is back, but my undefeated streak at Wrigley this year is dead. RIP in peace. The White Sox offense also heating up. We're going to talk all about it and the Cubs with Josh here soon. The Blackhawks and the Bulls are dead. I feel like it just keeps going back and forth every week. But at this point, I feel like they're both dead. And unfortunately, the Bears are probably going to break our hearts in the draft this week. So got a lot to talk about. Can't wait for all the pessimistic takes. It's great. It's what this show is all about. So as always, Skies Falling Podcast brought to you by OnTapSportsNet.com. Head on over, get your Chicago sports needs. We're also brought to you by Bet River Sportsbook. Illinois bettors can use promo code ONTAP at registration to receive a first deposit match up to $250. That's free money to bet with. Free. And again, you can sign up. Then you got to head on over to freaking Rosemont, basically show your ID, and then you'll be good to go. I know it's unfortunate. You just got to do it. Blame the Illinois government. That's all I can really say. Yeah. So I don't really know how else to say that. But anyway, you can follow the podcast on Twitter at Skies Falling Pod and on Instagram at the Skies Falling Pod. You can follow me at Cody on Tap. You can follow Sean at SeanCon3 and official_T Long for Tommy. Sir T Oliver Long.
If you're watching live or listening live, happy Jake Day. Got Arrieta on the bump, and then we got Pat Hughes on the tube today. So pretty special day for Cubs baseball, especially in April. But hope everyone had a good week, and I hope we have a good upcoming week. And I think we got a pretty good show for you guys today. Why don't we get it started?
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Let me hit the button. And welcome in to the Skies Volley Podcast, episode 85. Sir T. Oliver Long, Sir S.P. Connolly.
Yo.
Fellas, how are we doing? Happy Sunday. The sun's out. It's, still kind of chilly, but the sun's out.
Notice this today, by the way. All the rooftops are taking off the pool tarps that they've had on all winter.
Ooh, that's
almost that time, guys.
It's about that time. Almost. I was at the Cubs game yesterday. Perfect weather, despite it being overcast. So it's just like another sign that, summer is coming, man. Like, it's exciting. So
I woke up pretty tired, though. I woke up really tired. Yeah, I kept having dreams about mufflers.
Mufflers?
Yeah, well, woke up exhausted.
There's got to be some reason for that.
Did you get the car joke there? I was dreaming about mufflers, woke up exhausted.
Wow. Was that planned?
So
riding the roller coaster.
Some old man said that to me at my 2 jobs ago, when I first 3 weeks into the workforce, and it made me want to just drink a gallon of bleach because I thought it was the funniest thing ever. I'm like, if this is my life for the next 30 years, I'm going to kill myself. But now that I'm out of that, I have a greater appreciation for the joke. And now I think it's hilarious.
Well, you did say you're pretty tired. I obviously we talked about it on the last show. You said you were getting your second vaccine. The group text you sent a screenshot of your steps. You took 12 whole steps yesterday. Yeah, that has to be a record.
Yeah. So if you look at the tracker, you can see the little blip on the screen for the 12 steps. That was literally when I got out of bed to go pee. Was the 12 steps. So right. Here's the timeline. I got the vaccine Thursday, 5:00-ish, and whatever, feel fine. I went to bed around 9:30, 10-ish, didn't feel anything, and then I woke up and I was like, holy balls. I didn't feel sick. I was just so physically exhausted and I just couldn't do anything. So I go back to bed, And that's when I finally woke up, I had like a really, really bad fever and chills and stuff. And I remember, Cody, you had texted me some stuff and I like couldn't even like focus on like what was in the text. I was like, dude, I'll text you tomorrow. Like I can't.
You're like, text me the details tomorrow. I was like, dude, I just texted you the details. I didn't say that to you, but I was like thinking, and I was like, I did.
Here's how. So I was sweating so badly. My dog came up and like jumped onto like the bed and then jumped on me, but he like slipped off my thigh like a slip and slide.
Oh, geez.
And just slipped off. I'm like,
that's some
get
sweat.
off.
That's some sweat. Bro.
I was sweating, dog. And but yeah, then finally like felt better after on late Friday night. Woke up yesterday morning and I felt good. So fully vaxxed. But that was the 12 steps. I was like kind of proud of it. I'm like, there have been some days. I mean, if you look at my cover photo on Twitter, one of the most hungover days ever, I put in it was like 200 steps. And that was me like walking to like downstairs to go get like some like Domino's I just ordered, and then walking back upstairs and eating it in bed. But still.
Yeah, 12 steps. You're never going to break that record.
Should I make that the cover photo?
You should change it.
Switch it up. Yeah.
12,
here's
12
the thing,
steps.
though. Here's my fears. I worry that people are going to see that and they're going to think, "Oh, that's BS. He totally just was walking around without his phone or whatever." No, that was legitimate. Yeah. I was in bed for like 36 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I do what I can.
Yeah,
you can call me a hero, but I mean,
nothing but respect for you to literally only get 12 steps. I mean, I have nothing else to say to that. So.
Yeah.
On a separate note, I went to a strip club for the first time.
Jesus
Friday night.
What? Now you got to tell the story of your experience at the strip club.
You guys know
hiding the lead, my man.
Yeah, we should have talked about that.
You guys know those moments where you're like, "Oh, I'll go out for a beer," and then it turns into The Hangover, where all this shit happens all on the same night. Yeah, went out for like a few beers with some old coworkers. Out of nowhere, we're like, "Oh, let's hit a strip club."
Where'd you go? Lionsden?
It's Rick's Cabaret.
Okay.
It's just north of me. I think it's out near like the Wicker area.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I know what you're talking about. I've never been to a strip club, but I know of the establishment.
It's not bad. It's not a bad place.
What was your experience like? Give us like a play-by-play, or should we let Josh in? Can we intro Josh? I want Josh in for this.
Let's let him in.
Okay, here we're welcoming Josh now.
Josh, have you been listening?
Yeah, I've been listening.
Okay, so I just want you to be a part of the club here while Sean tells us about his strip club experience.
Yeah, my brows raised as soon as he said that.
So you're, play by play. Got there. My buddy's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get you a dance because it was my birthday last week or 2 weeks. I can't even remember. Was it 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So immediately, literally walk in, dance right away. Like, don't even sit down. Just go straight to the dance.
That's like the kind of a good way to do it.
We were the only people in there. There were like 6 people in there.
Yeah, that's awkward.
But yeah, straight to the dance.
Did they make you wear a mask while she gave you the dance?
I don't remember.
She's in full PPE.
Yes.
I know she didn't. She didn't have it on.
That'd be kind of hot, actually. Yeah.
Mask. But no, I had like a whole wad. I still have some of the wad left over of singles.
Jesus, fuck. I'm gonna go back and screenshot this moment.
Yeah, and then got 2 bottles of Dom during the dance too. So that was like a K. Dropped a K last night.
Did you splooge or anything or
no?
Okay.
I blacked out like two glasses of champagne in, and I don't remember anything after that. So.
Holy fuck.
Who are your coworkers with?
I had respect for you before, but now I have even more respect for you. Like I never thought I could. Man. I didn't know I could gain more respect than I already had for you. This is what a moment this is. If anyone watching live, you're witnessing a moment right now.
Yeah, icing on the cake too. My glasses are still there. So
Oh no!
they were taken off. They were
You know what
taken
this is
off
like?
for
You know
Friday
what this
night.
is like, though, Cody. I think you'll get this reference because you've seen the show. I'm fairly certain. This is like the How I Met Your Mother episode where Ted leaves his cell phone at the club.
Someone
Except
just
Sean
left a
Wad.
comment. Still, someone got that wad left, huh? What a comment! What a comment, Joe. Thanks, Joe. Thank you for that
Literally.
moment. Go ahead, Tommy. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just like, this is gonna be like we're witnessing a real life like romantic comedy in front of us. Like Sean blacks out at a strip club, leaves his glasses. He'll go back to the strip club and like he'll find
like
like
the
the stripper.
umbrella?
But like he'll go back to get his glasses, but like the girl that gave him the dance to be like, hey, like we had a vibe and like we should meet. Like next
Undoubtedly,
time.
we'll
Maybe
be
she took
clipping
the
this.
glasses and kept
This will
them
be on.
Yeah.
just so she could be like, oh,
What if
yeah,
she like
who's gonna come
broke him?
back?
But what if she broke him between her thighs?
Maybe she did.
He's
don't
gonna go
remember.
back to get his glasses, and it's gonna get turned into like a TJ Maxx. Like it's not even
Pop up strip club. Pop up strip
Yeah.
club.
Oh my god! All right.
Yeah, you have to go back to get glasses, and he walks into a crate and barrel, and it's like.
A crate and barrel.
Good God.
Okay, guys, this is back-to-back weeks. We're
Sean,
starting
I can't
off
get
real
over
strong.
that wad of dollar bills has got to be so fucking dirty.
It was about that. So you see
Look,
this?
that-
You
I
better
had
put some
like 3
hand
times that.
sanitizer on.
I've never seen a stack of bills look sweaty. Like that looks
Yeah.
like sweaty.
And you would imagine, like, I had the wad that I had walking into the strip club is about 3 times that size. This is just the leftovers.
Is that why it looks so big? Because it's just absorbed all like the man and stripper sweat and just all the fumes from the
I
club.
think so.
Oh my god, Jesus
Maybe
Christ.
some champ that was on the ground.
Yeah.
in
This
the,
is a
in the
moment
VIP
we're gonna
room.
Oh shit!
Maybe
we get
that's
to-
why. This is why people say that like 80% of dollar bills are covered in like cocaine or whatever. No, it's covered in stripper sweat.
Well,
Because a guy's like Sean.
when we get to the end of the year, in December, this is going to be one of the top moments of this podcast. Of the year.
Literally, we go into the beginning of this episode. Cody makes the lead literally in the intro. Me only walking 12 steps because I was murdered by coronavirus vaccine. And then Sean's like, yeah, so I went to a strip club. And like, the thing is, we're all freaking nerds. So like, this is like
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
mind-boggling for
This
us.
is a mind-boggling moment. Again, Sean, if you didn't have any respect on your name, put some respect on your name right now with the K. You know what I mean? All right. What a start! What a start the show. Let's actually talk about what people come here for, though. Sports, I guess. I know athletes like to go to strip clubs. Like, if you want to spin zone it, whatever.
I mean, I'm an athlete.
Sure, Sean.
See, the thing is, that's like what Sean did was a Tuesday for James Harden.
yeah.
Dude, yeah, but
yeah.
actually.
Right. Okay. Well, Josh is here. We're always, we're in April. We'll start with baseball first, and we've been talking White Sox to start baseball off the last couple of weeks for obvious reasons. But I kind of want to start with the Cubs,
Sure.
because the Cubs didn't make me miserable this week. The Cubs, they swept the Mets. They lost yesterday, but they did win Friday in a fucking rout. Brett Anderson, rip, he's dead. And I got a chance to win another series today. Vibes kind of changing on the north side. Jake Arrieta going up against Brandon Woodruff. It's going to be a good one here. It's if you're listening on Monday, because when the podcast comes out, it's going to be later tonight, and you're not watching live. So if you're watching or listening Monday, you're getting a vibe of really, for at least for me, I don't know how you feel, Tommy, but for me, I'm feeling, better. I'm having some hope. And despite all the things that have gone wrong, the fact that the offense was like historically bad for like the first 3 weeks of the year, the Cubs are in second place in division and literally only 2 games back of the Brewers.
Yeah. So, I mean, I agree for the most part. I mean, yeah, it's feeling a whole hell of a lot better than we were. I think the biggest key to when the Cubs are rolling is when they grind out a game and it's like they win like 4-3, not 15-2, not 10-0. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, they only got 6 hits. They drew a few walks. They weren't able to hit a home run, but they got a couple 2-out hits. They got a couple shots in the gap or something. They took advantage of an error, and I think that's when we're playing our best baseball. And the bullpen comes in, and they were able to get out of the bases loaded with 1-out jam. Just things like yesterday where that could have been the case, but Chafin made one mistake. Unfortunately, and that's just how it is. And Rex Brothers wasn't fantastic in games prior, but. Again, I mean, for how the bullpen was pitching for the past week and how we were hitting the past week, I mean, shit, we were world beaters there for a while, and vibes were off the charts. Interesting today, though. Interesting move by Ross and Cody. I want to get your thoughts on it, and Josh, I want to get your thoughts on it too. Contreras out of the lineup today, and we know what happened last time Woodruff pitched against the Cubs.
Yeah.
Is there an element of Ross trying to avoid confrontation, seeing as how he was ejected last night? So him and this umpiring crew, obviously in hot water with them, even though that call last night was horrid. Or is it just 3 straight day games, kind of a getaway day?
I think it's
fresh legs for your catcher.
I think it's more of like the last part you said there. I don't think it has anything to do with like that controversy stuff. Contreras, I don't remember the last day he had a day off, and it's not Tony Walters. I'm assuming it's Austin Romine.
Yeah, he had a hit yesterday.
Yeah, and then he hasn't had. I don't think he's even had a start yet with the Cubs. He's he started the year on the IL. I thought.
Yeah. I thought when we got him, I thought he was going to be out till like mid-May.
Yeah,
but that's what I thought.
He's a solid backup though. Like I think Contreras should be in the lineup considering they're going up against Woodruff. And he has dominated the Cubs this year, and Contreras is far and away, if not the best offensive player right now for the Cubs. The second, it's like Chris Bryant and then him, who have consistently been really good. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just more of like Ross wanting to give him a day off. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, no, I was excuse me, I was just going to say the same thing. I don't think in baseball you'll ever see a manager lay down to an umpiring crew. Like, I think there's a respect there, but I don't think it'll ever be like, okay, like I'm going to sit my best guy just for you.
Yeah. I agree.
Like that call.
The high fastball that was called a strike.
Like, if that's not a cry for robot umpires, then so here's the thing. And people hear robot umpires and they think like there's going to be no one behind home plate. It's just going to be the players on the field. No. So what was it the Pacific Coast League or whatever league that has been doing the robot umpires? Home plate umpire is still behind home plate. He just got a mic in his ear or whatever, and he'll get like a buzz or a ding when it's a strike, and then he'll make the call, and it's pretty fluid. Or they'll say ball, and he puts his hands up like ball, and there's no like.
I like that.
There's no arduous like position on either side. It's like, okay, it's a fucking machine making these calls, so there's no ifs, ands, or buts. And then obviously it's up to them to judgment call of check swing, all that stuff. Because last night, that especially with Josh Hader, that changes the momentum of the at bat, which then I think changes the momentum of the game. And obviously we had stuff we could have taken care of before that to make it.
It didn't decide the game,
but I think there's like an element of like that could have like had an impact,
right? I saw like a slash line for Josh Hader when he gets ahead 0-1. Like hitters are like 0.87.
It's
like
ridiculous.
That's a batting average whenever he gets ahead in the count. Like that's
they're drawing comps of like when Randy Johnson like was closing games out for the Mariners that one year, and he let up like 1 run in like 37 innings, and it's like Jesus Christ. But David Bodie is hitting second today, and like that's interesting to me. Because
he's had a good week.
He's had a good week, but it's Brandon Woodruff.
Yeah,
and he's David Bodie.
I do like Nico Horner in there, though.
Yeah, I like Nico in the lineup. I thought maybe Hayward would have drawn like a better 2
especially
you would have like the right left with KB, Rizzo, and then Baez and whatever. But okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah. I think the biggest, if there's anything to like bitch about the Cubs this week, I guess you could look at the starting staff because they're not really going deep. It was nice to see Hendricks go 6 innings the other day. Of course, it was a blowout, but like we've talked about it at depth in past years, man. When the bullpen gets taxed early, it shows later on in the year. And Zach Davies, I think obviously the Cubs won in his start this week, but he couldn't even go 5 again for like the 3rd consecutive start. Trevor Williams, I feel like he's been solid. Like literally, I've been to every home start of his, and he's been solid. 5 innings. I can't complain too much.
Yep.
But Jake Arrieta has clearly been the best starter. I mean, Hendricks was good. He was great. Blowout game, whatever. But Arrieta is literally doing what the Cubs have asked him to do, which is eat innings and just be good enough. And he's been
better. He's been better than I think a lot of us.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, he's got like a almost 3 ERA. Like it's not even like the high threes. It's like 3.10 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't complain about what Jake Arrieta is doing because he's literally doing what the Cubs have asked him to do, is just eat innings and just be good.
Yeah,
enough.
He's got a 2.86. He's got 2.86 ERA, which is like all-star caliber.
He had a great start against the Mets, which was great to see.
Thank fuck we didn't face DeGrom, because DeGrom would have
fucked us.
Fucked us real bad.
He had that extra day of rest, and then he went out and literally won the game for the Mets.
And I was listening to every now and again I'll listen to like clips of like WFAN in New York. Just because those guys are like people in New York are just psychopaths. And they're talking about, they're like, DeGrom had pitched 9 innings with 15 Ks, and Mets fans are so scarred from the Mets not giving him run support. They're like literally question, like if you saw his stat line, they're like, he may still not have won the game.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's literally how it goes, man. And like the Mets offense against the Cubs this week was awful. Like Francisco Lindor was awful against the Cubs this week. And Pete Alonso was the only one who did anything. He was literally the only one. So,
yeah, Francisco Lindor has not been good since I mean, yeah, it's been 3 weeks.
It's been a month, but
yeah, I mean, they got some other dudes over there that I think when they get like fully healthy, I think it'll be like they'll be a threat in the East. But
right, yeah, like I mean, their offense will be better. At least you look at. I look like being at the game, seeing their lineup. Like I'm like, all right, this is not bad. But and it's like the same thing with the Cubs. Like you look at the Cubs lineup, and you're like, how are they one of the worst offensive teams in the league? Last week, and April baseball, man, it's just crazy.
And I want to start talking like long term. And Josh, I don't want to shit on your parade talk. Keep talking Cubs baseball, but I'm gonna anyway. So watching the Owls really start, and I tweeted out like I want to comp him to Mark Pryor, and I was like watching Mark Pryor like tapes, and just like mechanically, he looks just like Mark Pryor. If I had the technical skills to do like a pitching ninja like overlay with Alzolay and Pryor, very similar arm slot, very similar separation of the hands. Mark Pryor's bigger. But I mean, it's very similar stuff, but Alzolay doesn't have as big as a hook as Mark Pryor, but I mean, very similar type of stuff, especially with like fastball, velo and movement. So that fires me up, except Alzolay is about 4 years older than Pryor was when Pryor made his debut. But, that gets me fired up, especially seeing the way Alzolay's pitching. Now we're talking Cubs bullpen. And, we've talked about like pieces moving that line. Mostly we've talked Kimbrel, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm interested to see, because I think in May, the Marquee Network said they're going to carry in May and June, they're going to carry 16 Iowa games or something like that.
14. Yeah, 14.
Now I want to watch them, and I want to watch, hopefully there's a way I can stream like some AA ball too. But like, if you guys are able to watch Ryan Jensen or Burl Caraway or Luke Little or Darius Valdez, the big tall left-hander we got from
San Diego.
Mm. Those are going to be guys I would love to have called up in September, because like everyone talks about how we need more guys that throw like 100. Well, all those guys throw 100 in their sleep, and they're all very, very good, but none of them have a lot of experience, very little college experience. And obviously not a lot of minor league experience, because they're all either recent draft picks or recently, signed to an American League
club.
Minor
league season hasn't even started yet.
Right.
So, yeah,
right.
It'll be interesting to see how they perform in their first year basically doing that. So.
But if it's, and none of those guys are starters except for Jensen, who I think probably is going to end up being a reliever, I think, anyway, because he's only got two real pitches. But
so you've said a lot. So what you're saying is, like, if the Cubs trade Kimbrel, you would like to see some of those guys called up, or one of those guys at least.
What I would like to see is if we do move like these bullpen pieces, because I mean, naturally most bullpens are guys. I think the White Sox are the only real exception where like a lot of their bullpen guys they have either invested long-term or control over for a while. But a lot of it's either 1 or 2 year deals, you know what I mean? And I think the Cubs are an example of that. So, which makes them like viable, trade pieces deadline. You're not going to get much in return. But then get some patchwork guys for a couple of months in July, August. And then, in September, depending on where we're at, I think a guy like Burl Caraway or, Ryan Jensen, who can come up and throw 101 and do some damage, that's going to play.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to see, get like, 5 to 10 innings under his belt going into next season. That's what I would like to see. It may not work out, but something I would like to see this year.
Well, I mean, I think Kimbrel, no matter where the Cubs are at the deadline, I feel like the Cubs are going to move Kimbrel either way. Unless they're unless they get real hot and like are 5-6 games up in the division, and Javi Baez figures out how to be 2018 Javi Baez. Like, certain things are going to have to happen for the Cubs to decide they're going to keep Kimbrel. I think if they're like, in the race, but like, whether they're even in the race in first, but like only like a game or two, I still think that they're going to trade Kimbrel, because I think that they're, they can, I don't want to say replace him, because it's hard to replace a guy like that, but
they'd rather mortgage 1 or 2 wins in the short term to get somebody who can help them long term, whether it be in the next year. So, but I think the best move for Kimbrel, for the Cubs, if they trade Kimbrel, would be doing what we did with the A's. If we can find a team who doesn't necessarily make the playoffs a lot, who's kind of desperate and has kind of like that angsty fan base, they may be a team that like would give up like a top 10 prospect for a guy like 3 months of Kimbrel, like the Cubs did with Chapman.
Yeah. I've had conversations with people this week about possibly pull that with Chris Bryant as a potential, like, trade him and then try to sign him in the offseason.
Especially like a small market team.
Yeah, like San Diego, for example. I saw that on Twitter this week, because San Diego, they're not going to, if we traded Chris Bryant to San Diego, they're not going to re-sign Chris Bryant. They're already paying Machado like $30+ million AAV. They're going to be paying Hosmer. They're still paying Hosmer a ton of money. They're paying Darvish $20+ million. Like, they have a lot of guys, including Tatis, who, I mean, he's only making like $1.5 million or something. So his payroll portion isn't kicking in for a while, but like they're already paying a ton of people.
His pay bump kicks in next year, where he goes from like 1.5 to like 17.5, and then it goes up to like 28 or something like the year after.
Right. So like, I feel like San Diego could be a spot where the Cubs could get a Mackenzie Moore or something, or Gore.
I think back. Like, do you know who I think could be like a Kimbrel or a Bryant? Fucking the team managed by Joe Madden, the Angels, because fucking they are thirsty as fuck for getting in the playoffs.
Yeah,
like they'll do anything to get Trout in the playoffs, because that's been like the fucking mantra in MLB. Like, oh yeah, the best player,
and they're
baseball,
pretty good this year.
Can't get them in the playoffs, or you can't do anything. The one time you get in the playoffs, you get knocked out quick, and it's like, let's just mortgage all of our prospects. Like, give us fucking Joe Adell and your 2 B-level pitchers,
Mm-hmm.
we'll have a conversation.
Well, we'll see where Chris Bryant's value is come July, because he's playing fucking insane this year. He's playing MVP type level. He's one of the top 10 players in WAR so far this year. He looks like 2016, 2017, even parts of 2019 Chris Bryant. Like he looks at. So I'm just hoping he stays healthy, and no matter where the Cubs are in July, like whatever we do, it is what it is. But I feel like if the Cubs are going to make could potentially do something like what I just said, it would be with him. And if they were able to trade him to a team like San Diego, or even like a team like the A's as well. So
what if, real quick, and this is for Josh, what if someone like the Tigers or the Indians trade for Bryant and they're competing for a playoff spot, and Bryant goes 25 of 40 against you guys and knocks you guys out of the playoffs?
Why would you say that? I just, I don't understand. Like, you guys are having such a good conversation about the Cubs and Chris Bryant and Craig Kimbrell, and then you just bring me into the conversation to just crush my feelings.
I'm tired of seeing gifs of your mean Mercedes eating burgers on my timeline. Should we go back to the comparisons of Moncada and Chris Bryant? I remember a year ago, everyone was saying he was so much better than Chris Bryant.
I never said that.
I didn't say you did. I've just seen it on my timeline.
Josh, we've already been through this war with Randall Grichuk. If we need to go to battle again, we will.
He's even playing better than Nolan Arenado. I haven't seen Nolan Arenado's numbers, but I know he's not playing as well as Chris Bryant right now. Chris Bryant is literally playing the best third baseman in the National League, at least right now. I wouldn't take anyone over him. It's a shame that, in past years, people legit thought this guy was just not good anymore. And all it was, it looks like all it was just health. He's healthy. He's playing well. Yeah. Well, a lot of people were like, "Oh, he's soft," because all these nagging injuries are affecting his play. And it's some guys can play through it, and some guys don't. I blame the Cubs for not just putting him on the IL for a couple weeks or some shit. Yeah. They legit would just make him play, or maybe it was him that just wanting to battle through things. I don't know. We'll never know that. But these are things that have been talked about not only on Cubs Twitter, but just among Chicago media people. People talked about his health. Maybe
last year was the best thing to happen to him, only playing 60 games and having an extended off season, and obviously he had a rough 60-game stretch, but he had 3 months off before that or whatever, you know what I mean? Maybe just kind of having a whole year off for the most part.
Maybe, yeah.
Got his body right.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, anything else on the Cubs? I'm just glad that we had positive things to say about the Cubs this week. We're still talking potential trades. I'm still thinking we might have to do it. I don't know, but I think if you get the Cubs playing like this, they're at least going to be more fun to watch.
I'm tired of playing the Brewers and the fucking Pirates, man. Are we fucking done with this shit?
Don't worry, we get to play the Dodgers in first week of May, man, and then we get to play the Nationals.
What do we got? We have the Braves coming up too. God damn. Okay.
Don't worry, there's more teams coming.
I wanted to touch on I just lost it. Never mind. Keep going. I just fucking lost it. You brought up the Nationals and Dodgers, and I started thinking about who we got next. I lost my thought.
Okay. Well, let's transition, man. I felt like this week, from the outside perspective, the Sox offense finally started showing what we expect all season. And like Tommy said, your main Mercedes just keeps rolling. He quite literally, I feel like the Sox would be well under 500 if he wasn't playing as well as he is to start this year.
Yeah. I hate to say that, but yeah. He's the one guy who is a consistent threat at the plate this year so far. And when he's hitting baseballs with the flick of a wrist that wound up as doubles, you're like, Jesus, this guy is absolutely.
He fucking mashes
out right now.
Mashes baseballs. It's insane.
Yeah,
watching
and he
him. He kind of Yeah, I saw the blowout. They used them to pitch. I love when players get to pitch. I will like whenever people talk about Anthony Rizzo's like career when he retires and stuff. People will be talking about he helped the Cubs win a World Series. He helped he hit 30 home runs a year. But first thing I'm bringing up 0.00 ERA because he came in to pitch one game and got 3 outs.
Yeah, that's why Yadier shouldn't get in the Hall of Fame because he struck out to Ben Zobrist.
Yes. Ben Zobrist's last inning as a major league player, he struck out Yadier Molina in the last game of the year.
I need to see that highlight.
You got it's on the internet, man. You'll find it.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. So, I think that. Actually, I don't know. What are your thoughts right now with the Sox? Like, I think Mangata. Like, I was just kind of trolling a little bit with the KB comparisons, but he did kind of break out these last couple of days, and I know he'd been struggling. Same thing with Abreu. He hit a 2 home run game the other day, and he'd been struggling as well. So,
yeah, man. Moncada is one of those guys where, like, even if he's doing really well, he's a quiet name in our lineup. Even though, like, to Sox fans, he's a pretty big name, but I feel like for the rest of the league and whoever we're playing, I feel like they don't really think about him too much. But I mean, realistically, he's just another switch hitting threat at the plate. And when he's going, he's good, but when he's bad, he's fucking putrid. It's so gross watching his at bats.
Dude, his stat line like reminded me of almost like a Mark Teixeira light. Like when he's hot, it's like you have to focus on one guy ahead of him, one guy behind him because you're just like not going to pitch this guy. And when he's cold, it's like, okay, you're going to walk the guy ahead of him because you can get him to roll over. You know what I mean? Like that's what I saw a couple of people like talking about. But I was just interesting because what's his contract situation? They locked him up, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I think he says like 3 or 4 more years at least, right? It was like a 5-year extension, I thought.
The thing is with Moncada is like I think we've come to the realization as Sox fans that he's not gonna be the best third baseman in the league. Like it's just you want his ceiling to be that high, and I don't know if that pisses off Sox fans, but I think we need to start being realistic about who we have. Is Yohan Moncada is going to be like maybe a top 8. Maybe top 10 third baseman in the American League, but like his value is going to be like when he's hot, he's hot. That's going to be his value, and I think you just have to live with it. Like I feel like when Moncada was mashing a couple years ago, when he first came up, everybody was like, "This dude is going to be the greatest third baseman."
Well, that was like the battle cry from Red Sox fans too.
Yeah.
Or Red Sox Twitter at the time when the trade went down.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But look, man, I'm not going to complain. Moncada's been he's been going the past couple of days, and as you said, Abreu has too, and those are obviously two important names in the middle of the lineup that need to continue going. But yeah, I mean, so far, look, won the first 2 games of the series. I'm not super thrilled with what I've seen from Liam Hendricks the past 2 days. But
yeah, that was the next thing I was bringing up.
Dude,
to you,
the Calhoun home run, like no one hits that except Calhoun. I don't know how he hit it, and I'm not throwing that blown safe on Hendricks. Like he somehow hit that out of the park. It is what it is. But the night before, like you're making it interesting. Like this is what White Sox fans wanted to get away from is closers who make stuff interesting because. For some reason, Alex Colomé blew 2 saves in like 2 years, and everybody was like, "This guy blows." And you're like, "No, he doesn't. He just loads the bases and then somehow gets out of it." He's like a Dylan Cease, but a closer. But yeah, I mean, look, I think I think this is. I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. I feel like the Sox are getting a taste of how they can play in like June, July, August. And so on now in April, and they just need a stretch where like they can really settle in and stay healthy and like have a consistent lineup.
Find that stride, as people like to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man, I completely get that because like we were just talking about when we were talking about Cubs, Tommy. Like, you know, the Cubs like kind of found their stride after winning, you know, one game against the Mets, and they just played like a team that we've been watching for 3-4 years, it felt like, and when the things are going well. And the Sox just haven't really found that yet. But that said, they're like right there. I mean, I guess it's a little bit of a disappointing start. They're like what? They're like 10-9 or something like, or 11-9. Yeah, 11-9. Like again, it's so early. I still think that there's plenty of time. But you know, would I be disappointed that they haven't won more games? I guess to an extent, because there's so many aspects, like because me and Tommy talk about all the time when it comes to Cubs in like 2018, 2019, like if those games that you lose in April that are like that you should have won or something like that, they do come back to haunt you at the end of the year if you don't get the seed that you want or even miss the playoffs. So yeah, it's early, but also they can come back to haunt if you're like in the freaking right there in the pennant or not pennant race, but like division race at the very end of the year. And
right. Let me put it this way. Like you don't think about games in April when your team is great. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're like, okay, look, there's the rough patch. We're going to battle through it. And we're going to end up very good on the other side. We're going to be just fine. But when you're like a fringe playoff team, you think about that. You're like in September and you lose 2-1 to somebody who just brought up a rookie pitcher. And you're like, fuck, if we would have like that game wouldn't have been as big a deal if we would have beaten the fucking, you know, Pittsburgh Pirates on April 7th. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or if we would have beaten the Detroit Tigers on April 7th. And that's what's interesting. That's what, like, those are kind of mental hula hoops he plays, like with yourself as a fan. I'm sure they do it as a player, but to a certain extent. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think the AL Central is going to be an interesting division this year because I don't think anyone really knows what the Indians are going to do. Everyone thinks they're going to sell out, but then when they get hot, they may just hold pat and like make a run, and no one knows what the Royals are going to do because they have a bunch of like 19-year-old kids playing. And there are some, that's what I'm saying. And there are some nights where they look like world beaters, and then other nights where, you know, they look very piss poor. But so just interesting division. And the Tigers kind of same blood as the Royals. You know, the Twins are going to be there at the end too. So
it's crazy how that division is really turned it around. Because like a couple years ago, we're talking 2 teams in this 2-3 teams, if that are good. And now like it seems like from top to bottom, the division is competitive. I guess that's what happens when you tank a lot and you get good.
You know who I feel bad for? You know who I feel bad for is like teams like the Twins, who like they go out and like win 98 games, and then they get paired up with like the Yankees every damn year, and it's always the years.
Playoff series since like 2000.
And they're what are they like right? 1 for 20 in their last playoff games, and it's all losses to the Yankees. Like it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you know what though? Like, because you guys are so right when you talk about how the American League Central was just a laughing stock of the American League a couple of years ago. But like, that's series against the Yankees. Somebody's got to do it. They have to play the juggernauts of the American League if they want to win the whole thing. If you aren't the juggernaut, and like those series, if you can come out on top, like that's the turning point of your entire division. Because like, think about this. I'm putting myself in a front office position here. So let's say the Twins beat the Yankees, right, and they move on in the playoffs. If I'm a GM of another team, I'm like, okay, like this team is legit. Like I don't care what they do this year. Based on their contract situations and who they have coming up in the system, they're going to be just as good, if not better, next year. So we need to start adding. Mm-hmm. That's how stuff. In my opinion, that's how stuff starts rolling in the right direction for divisions as a whole. Is like one team really has to go on a run, like the National League West with the Dodgers. I mean, it took the Padres a long time, but now they're adding. And they'll probably keep adding, and somehow their payroll just doesn't exist.
Yeah. But so real quick, not to cut you off, but the Twins have lost 18 straight playoff games to the Yankees. And their last playoff win was with Johan Santana in 2004.
That's pretty good. They played the Astros last year.
They lost 18 straight to the Yankees. Sorry.
No, I know. I'm just saying they played the Astros. They played the Astros last year, and everybody thought that they would roll over.
Oh yeah,
roll over.
The Astros were not good, and then they got hot, and somehow were in the ALCS, and everyone was like rooting against them. And then the media was like painting them as like Astros against the world, and it's like, dude, no, fuck them. They're a bunch of cheaters.
Didn't like all the main culprits have like really terrible years last year too for the Astros, like Altuve and Bregman and like Correa and Springer.
Yep.
Like
they were all bad. Yep, and they still somehow got it.
Yeah, it was all pretty bad. I mean, more White Sox stuff. I think we're waiting for Luis Robert to like really get hot. He'll have some good games here and there, and then all of a sudden he just kind of disappears, and like you kind of forget about him in the middle of the lineup. But it is what it is. The other guy I want to mention, and I should have brought up before, is Yasmani Grandal, because man,
go ahead.
Sox fans want to trade this guy. Like I've had three people text me and say this guy's a bum, trade him. Like, what are we paying him for? And I'm like, look, okay,
dude.
So I don't know if you saw this. I did a fantasy baseball show with this guy Jesse Clark, and he wanted me to bring a Sox player to talk about and do a deep dive on advanced analytics. And I brought Yasmani Grandal because I know that there are a lot of Sox fans who want this guy's head on a damn plate. So when we did the deep dive, and all of his numbers are good, like they're pointing in the right direction. The only thing that's keeping him under the Mendoza line is he's hitting 53% at the time, 53% ground ball rate. So he's just beating this fucking thing into the ground. And when you see that, it's like, okay, if you look at the rest of the numbers, they're good. So maybe change, a small adjustment at the plate, get a little bit more lift on the ball, start hitting line drives and fly balls, and you're going to start to see those things turn around. I honestly think it has a little bit to do with the fact that when when weather gets warm in Chicago, balls fly. So I think it's only a matter of time for this guy. Everybody needs to relax about Yasmani Grandal.
I mean, when he signed, he was quite literally looked at as one of the premier catchers in the league.
Yeah.
And they're essentially Sox fans are already done with him after 70 games? 70 games.
Well, no, 70 games pretty much in a Sox uniform. And then there's some people. It's weird. So he's not in the lineup today. We're recording this on Sunday. He's not in the lineup for the finale against the Rangers. Zach Collins is going and catching Kopech. But it's funny because it's like, don't play this guy. And it's like, okay, well, how do you want him to turn shit around if like he's not fucking playing? Like this guy is a 2 days on, 1 day off kind of guy at this point, and it's like you need to just play him. Just play him.
So I mean, if White Sox fans want to know pain about big contract players, we signed a guy named Jason Hayward to literally more than double the contract of Yasmani Grandal, and there was legitimate discussion about DHing Jason Hayward in a World Series game.
Yep.
So that's
why would we DH Jason? Who said that? I don't remember this.
When we were playing the Indians, it was when Arrieta was pitching. Because Arrieta
you mean DHing Jake Arrieta?
No, designating hitting, letting Arrieta hit for himself, and then using the DH spot for a fielder.
Oh, okay. Well,
dude,
I don't remember this.
I know we've talked about it. The problem with Sox fans is like and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to pat myself on the back here a little bit. I feel like I maintain some realism and like I try and keep a level head watching this team. But there are some people like we got a taste of success last year. And now it's like if we're not winning every single game, everybody wants to burn the damn city down. And like, oh my God.
They have the dynasty or bust mentality, man. And I mean, again, like the Cubs, a lot of people talk about how, especially on that stupid ESPN broadcast last Sunday, Cubs getting murdered by the Braves. Then you got freaking Vaskurjan and A-Rod and fucking Buster Olney on the broadcast just slandering the fact that the Cubs hadn't won another freaking World Series since 16, and Buster Olney literally saying that the reason that the Cubs haven't won another World Series is because their inability to develop starting pitching, even though their starting pitching is literally the reason they even made the postseason last year, and the fact that it's actually been pretty good over the last 4 or 5 years if you really look into the numbers. Like, it's like those people that you're kind of talking about. They take the clickbait that the national media people are putting out there, and honestly, it should be illegal. All those motherfuckers should be arrested for like literally putting that mentality into their heads. Like, because, and you haven't got there yet, but for like someone like me, whenever this era of Cubs baseball is over, I'm going to look back and maybe I'll be a little disappointed and win more than one. If, unless we really get hot somehow this year and like win it all, whatever. But this could be the last year that we have, Baez, Bryant, Contreras, Rizzo, all those guys. And I want to remember it as some of the best years of my baseball fandom life. And a lot of people want to look at it as a big, giant disappointment. And to me, that's a fucking slap in the face to like all the diehards who have sat through and watched really, really, really bad baseball for like our entire lives. So for someone like you who was watching the Sox when they were like winning 60, 70 games, whatever it is, watching the rebuild and shit like that, that's something that I feel like you should take, like, you should use that as like a, I don't know, I can't think of the word, but like something to like hang your hat on, because like it's like people who have joined the bandwagon and they expect greatness like that, like on a snap of a finger. And you're just not going to get that. This isn't the NFL where, if the Bears lose 2 in a row, the world is ending and we should blow up Hallis Hall and just want to throw someone, like throw people out the window. Like it's 162 games. It's a roller coaster every year. Like, I'm going on a tangent, but you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I get what you mean. And I think it just comes with the territory. Like, the reason why this podcast is called what it's called.
Exactly. For real.
Just being in the city of Chicago, no matter who you're rooting for, like, you're really high when the team is high, but you're low. You're underground when this team, when the team is struggling. But, I think, I don't want to go too long on that. I do want to bring up another name, though, that I don't feel like is getting a ton of credit, and he deserves, aside from Adam Eaton, I think he deserves the second most credit, and that's Nick Madrigal this year.
What do they call him? Nicky Two Strikes? Is that what yeah.
Dude, look, when you're 0 for 2, when you're 0-2, I should say, and your average goes up,
that's something.
You're doing something right. And aside from, I definitely slandered him in the first like week or so of the season when he was just a piss poor defensive player. That's improved. Like he's playing really, really well right now. And I feel like the people who wanted to fucking trade Nick Madrigal deserve to take a hike, because this dude,
Shadow Realm.
Yeah, like this dude is going to be of value because he hits the baseball. Like, I know the league now is home run or strikeout, but like when you have guys at the bottom of that lineup that can turn over the lineup back to the 1, 2, 3 just by getting a single or infield single, whatever, that's extreme value, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah. For sure. And it's a huge, you can compare that with the Cubs, like, because the Cubs have a lot of swing, like they lead the league in like whiff percentage as a team. Like they have a lot of swing miss guys. But when you get guys like Nico Horner in the lineup and like Jake Marisnick and, other guys who are really good at making contact, you can see you might not see the value as a casual fan, but I think as someone like us three here, sorry, Sean, like I think you really understand like the value that those guys bring, because just putting the ball in play has really just changed the entire vibe for the Cubs offense this year. And like you're kind of saying with Nick Madrigal, putting the ball in play is something that it doesn't go unlooked when you're winning baseball games and in situations.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's I'll say this, I'll put a bow on the conversation by saying this team is going to be a very up and down team this year. I don't think you're going to see them win, fat chunks of games in a row. But I do, however, think that with the guys like Jose Abreu and even Liam Hendricks, who's a fiery guy, I think that they're going to be one of those teams that like they're consistently resilient. Like you're never going to see them lose a bunch of games in a row and then just like completely fall off the face of the earth. I think that they're going to be a team that consistently fights. Like when Ricky Renteria was manager, that's what we prided ourselves in. Like it doesn't matter if we're down 1 or 7 in the bottom of the 9th. You know, we're going to try and put something together. And I think that's carried over with La Russa, Papa Tony, I like to call him. And you know, if we can find ways to manage this bullpen well, I think, you know, I don't think the ultimate goal is out of reach, to be honest with you. I don't.
After talking to Chuck Garfien earlier this week, like I think managing the bullpen for Tony La Russa, it will be the easiest thing for him. That's just
I agree.
Opinion.
I agree because you have guys in there who aren't big names who can they can get it done. I mean, sure, everybody's gonna have a bad game, but this bullpen can get it done for sure.
Yeah. 2 things, Sean. Do you still follow Chicago Scanner on Twitter?
I do. I just haven't seen it pop up as frequently.
Okay, I need you to keep those notifications turned on, bud. Here's why. Cody? What do you think will happen first? White Sox winning a World Series, or Tony La Russa getting a 3rd DUI?
I'll put the odds at Tony La Russa getting another DUI at like -150, and I'll put
like
the odds of the White Sox winning the World Series at like before that at least. I'll put it at I don't know, plus 500. I don't know,
dude. Chicago. I mean, look. Here's the thing, though. The odds are gonna fluctuate because like the city's starting to open up and the warm weather and day drinking weather and the wine's gonna be flowing.
How about this? Let me just create this. I want you to clip this so I can post it on White Sox Twitter. This is an open letter to Rick Hahn and the rest of the White Sox organization. Get Tony La Russa a driver.
Does he not have one already?
I don't know. I'm sure he has to be part of the contract.
He just likes drunk driving for the sport. You know what I mean?
I love doing it for the thrill.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He likes waiting until he gets nice and sleepy and then just taking a little siesta at the red light.
Jesus Christ.
All
right. As always, Josh, always good to talk, man.
That'd be so funny seeing that on Chicago Scanner. Like, do you know who I am? I'm a Hall of Famer.
But before you guys head out, or before I head out, and you guys move on, I want to give a few cool and tough Layman Week Shadow Realm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
So my cool and tough is Nick Madrigal, because anybody named Nicky Two Strikes and not named Nicky Delmonico is automatically cool and tough.
Name a brand of cigarettes after him.
Walk-off wins are cool and tough. Layman Week is actually Adam Engel's hamstring. Like, this dude's been out for forever, and you know he was supposed to come back this weekend, and now it's next weekend. Like, he had a setback, but like somebody needs to put some voodoo on that leg or something, because we could sure as hell use them. And Shadow Realm is, I'm sure you guys saw this, and look, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but the people who were heckling Michael Kopech in the bullpen the other day.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Straight to the fucking Shadow Realm. Because
what happened?
Yeah,
you haven't seen this?
Mm.
Oh my god. Okay, so for Sox fans, fast forward the episode if you're listening on Monday, because it's rough. So Kopech was throwing in the bullpen the other day, and a group of people, I don't know their ages. Some people on Sox Twitter know, they did like CSI research and shit. But
at home or on the road?
It was at home. So I'm pretty sure it was Sox fans that were doing this, which is not a good look. But they were heckling Kopech about his ex-wife, about his kid, and they were going like they were saying, from what I hear, they were saying some pretty raunchy shit. And Kopech, I don't know if this happened, like if this what really escalated it, or if he was doing this like during the escalation of it. But he tossed a ball like hard, like he underhand threw it at them, and security got called. Like they were. He's like, come down here. Like I'll fuck you up. Like he was literally about to fight these fans. And security had to come get the fans, and the bullpen coach was holding back Kopech. Like, it was a thing. And then, I saw some people on Sox Twitter that were like, "Oh, Kopech's soft," and it's like, I get it comes with the territory, but like when it's happening at your home ballpark,
yeah,
that's fucked up.
That's where that's where I don't blame him at all. And then if it happens on the road, it's like, dude. They're Tigers fans. Like, of course they're going to say shit like that. But like, this was happening in your own bullpen. So I don't blame them. I don't.
And if you're Kopech, like, what do you like? If he's not even fantastic.
Yeah, he's been pitching well.
What do you want me to do for you?
Yeah.
Like, I'm pitching lights out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, let's not speak too soon because he's throwing today. And I don't want to jinx it. So, but yeah, that's my shadow realm. And
I like it.
Kopech to the moon.
Yeah.
What time's the game tonight? Is it
1:10? Starting in like 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
1:10. Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah.
All right, Josh. I agree. Before I let you go, I agree to the shower room with those guys. Just really that when your home ballpark fans are doing that, that's something that people will be talking about for a while. Like anytime you want to like slander a Sox fan, like this is something I guess people could bring up. Unfortunately,
I don't know if we've read this or not, but JB has some strip club recommendations for you, Sean. He said he commented this about an hour ago. He said goes to 11 Miami. Yeah, E11. Yeah, 11 Miami 11. Is greatest strip club on earth. It is like the Ohio,
Miami in Chicago.
No, it's in Miami.
It's in Miami.
Yeah, it's like the Ohio State football of strip clubs.
Yeah, so but and he's a big.
Is it this past year's Ohio State or is it?
Yeah, JB I think knows a lot about. He does like the EDM concerts and stuff too, doesn't he?
Oh shit,
yeah, he goes to Miami like before COVID. He would go to Miami every year.
Damn.
Anyway,
not a bad
again. As always, Josh, thanks for joining us, man. We'll talk next week. Stay work on the eyes. Keep them good. I don't know.
Let's end it on something very personally offensive. Okay.
It's always out of good fun, man.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, guys. Have a good show.
See you, man.
What was that for?
I came out wrong. I apologize. It was just more like, keep moving up because things have been going well for him in terms of that situation. He started doing like YouTube videos talking about like, what it's like being blind and stuff. That was basically what I was trying to get at.
So instead of saying congratulations on the progress, we're all rooting for you, keep pressing forward, we're cheering you on, you say good luck with the eyes.
Good luck being blind.
It was not a good choice of words. It was a very bad moment.
That was a butt fumble of words.
I hope Josh comes
just after talking mad shit about Kopech too. So
well, I mean, it wasn't me. It was, he was talking shit about his own fan base. So anyway, you guys you want to do UC first, United Center teams?
Oh my god.
Yep.
You want to do
talk about
Bulls
Denzel
first?
Valentine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we please talk
Sean's been
about
quiet.
Denzel
He's ready.
Valentine?
He's ready.
Oh my god. Thinking he's Steph Curry running up from half court, pulling a limitless range 3 and airballing it.
So
at the very end of the game,
so
you're
Sean,
6 points away.
Literally, Sean, right before you jumped on, Cody and I were talking about this before we recorded, and Big Dave, fan and guest of the show, tweeted out a GIF of Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air throwing up the full court shot from the basketball episode.
Yep.
And that was the most accurate representation. Now, and I quote tweeted this with Dave, or I might have DM'd it to him, and I'm like, Denzel's body, like he didn't say it with his mouth, but he said it with his body. Was like, damn, as soon as he missed, because he missed the whole, like not the rim.
It was like it was between like the rim and the actual backboard. He hit like right between.
Yeah, and with why?
The game is on the line, and he's like, "Oh, hold up, I got it."
We almost saved his ass because like you go down the court, Kobe gets fouled shooting 3. makes his free throws. Then we get an 8-second violation. It's like, okay, Nick, maybe, we have a shot. And then we fuck it all up again. But it's just
cue the South Park meme of and it's gone.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you see? Speaking of Kobe, did you see his face after Denzel put up that shot?
No.
Oh my God, he was like keeled over.
It was just like
he's just gonna be
this
like,
is my life.
He's like, fuck.
He dropped 30 that night too, didn't he? Kobe?
Had to.
He's been playing well. He's
Yeah.
been playing well ever since Levine was been out. He should be coming back soon though. But I do. Speaking of Zach Levine, I do want to mention. Remember when the Bulls won like 2 in a row, and people were like, "Oh, we don't need Zach. This team is better without him." Yeah, that was a bad take from all those people.
Honestly, at this point, I'm not kidding. Here's the unfortunate part. Like, RIP to our playoff bets. I think I'm not like this. Sucks to hear. Our best shot right now. Tank as much as we can to get that 4 pick.
100%.
Because at this point,
I'm all in on that.
If we can land a top 4 pick, we're still gonna have plenty of cap space. Like, that's the only shot we're gonna have.
Lowry's gonna be gone.
Denzel's
gonna be gone.
You've got to operate under the process of Zach's only gonna be here
2 more years.
2 more years. Vooch is only gonna be here 2 more years.
Right.
So, but if you can, I mean, but fuck, dude, like,
I'm not there yet. I still think there's a lot of basketball to play, and I think that they can still get in because it's the East, and all they need is when Zach gets back to just go on a little bit of like, if they can find a way to manage and go like on a 4 or 5 game winning streak, they're right there. They're right there to be in that playing game, and have like a either the 7th or the 8th seed.
Bro, do you see who they got left?
I know it doesn't look good. I agree. It doesn't look good.
This is the mediocrity talk we talk about with the Bears all the time. Like, this is that moment where they can't win and they can't lose. They just have to sit somewhere right in between because they already gave up all their assets.
My thinking is, and this is the only reason I'm still hanging on to this, is like if the Bulls can get in this play-in series, whatever you want to call it, and maybe make the playoffs, that's going to show the rest of the league that this team is trying to win and that they are on the up and up. And that is going to attract free agents. And we have talked about in depth for years about how Garpax couldn't get free agents. And this would be the first regular full off season with AK and Mark Eversley. And we didn't think anything big about signing Garrett Temple and freaking, who else did they sign the short off season that they had? Garrett Temple and I can't think of anyone else, but Garrett Temple's off, and he's been a pretty solid addition for the Bulls. Again, it sucks that they have to, like, for them to get their first round pick, they have to be in the top 4. But like, I think making the playoffs somehow, some way will show free agents out there that this team is like on the rise. Because I genuinely think they just need and it doesn't even have to be like, obviously it's not gonna be Giannis. He freaking signed a max extension with the Bucks, like, and it's not gonna be LeBron. And like, they get one more number 2 or number 3 option on top of what you get out of Zach and Vooch, and then Patrick Williams game rising. They could be one of the best teams in the East. Maybe not next year, but the year after. I don't know. Like that's the only reason that I'm like, we need, like, if we can get like on a little bit of a, like, just any kind of win streak. Because if they had not fucking shit the bed against the Cavs, and then like, what we've seen the last 2 games, like, you feel like they're like right on the brink of like, just at least being a competent team. But like, I don't blame you guys for thinking the way you think. Like, if you to want to tank, like, I get it. Like, I'm not disagreeing, but I'm just giving you a different perspective because, like, it's not Garpax anymore. It's a new front office who I think could actually bring in free agents if we show that we want to win.
Right. Well, I mean, you still see this. Almost the entire team is from the previous regime too. So
right.
you have to shed those players that like are complete dog shit, like Denzel Valentine. And I'm sure you guys saw the video of that the Bulls posted after they won. I can't remember what game it was, but AK was sitting there giving fist bumps, and Lowry was stuck behind, didn't even look at him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Lowry's been
See ya. He's gone.
He's just been
it's over.
a big a disappointment as anyone, I guess. If you want to look at the biggest disappointment on the Bulls this year, I would say it would be him. Just because, like, he just doesn't have any more excuses, man. You could use Boylan and Garpax and all of like the negative energy and bad, front office and everything, like, to, I guess, justify his struggling. But like, it's been a long time since that rookie year, man. Yeah,
he's been put in the right spots this year.
He just hasn't figured out how to take that next step, and it's just unfortunate because we always talk about all the good teams. They have like a stretch four who can shoot the three and is athletic and can do this and that. And like Lowry, you look at Lowry and he looks like a guy who would be perfect in today's NBA. And he just, ever since the rookie year, it just hasn't happened, man. It just hasn't. So. Yeah. I'm about done with him. Even if he, somehow gets hot here in the next month, whatever, however many games we got left, like I think the Bulls are done with him. And again, like I think I mentioned a couple weeks ago about the draft pick. Like, okay, we still got that guy over in Europe that I know, Tommy, you're high on. I'm high on him as well. Like if we don't get that first, if we don't get a that first round pick because we didn't get a high enough lottery pick, like at least we got him, and we have stressed about how good AK is in Europe. So I don't think it's like we must do this to go where we want to go just yet. So I guess I'm looking at it a more I don't want to say realist. I think I'm looking at it more as optimistically as I can. Because like even last week we said, like, is it time for us to criticize AK and Mark Eversley yet? And you guys both said no, not yet. And I I agree. So I still think the trade
stuck with.
Yeah. And I still think the trade for Vooch has worked out. Like, he's played well. He's done his part. They just don't have a good enough roster around him, which is crazy because we thought that roster, like, coming in the year was, at least good enough to get the 8th seed. And then, like, fuck, dude, it just, like, we were really wrong about the roster in general, I guess. Because if Billy Donovan can't get these guys to win, then no one was going to get those guys to win.
It was a short off season too, so I wouldn't really put as much emphasis on the schematics of the whole thing.
True. Anything else?
I think Patrick Williams is going to be like. I think next year is going to be. I look forward to him having a huge sophomore season, because remember, he went into this year. When did they start the season? 3 weeks after he got drafted.
Yeah, like a month after. Yeah.
Give him a full off season of being with professional, trainers and dietitians and all that stuff. And, it's going to be in person probably. So, look forward to all that good shit. So I think Pat Williams is going to be.
I again, like, remember the very beginning of the year, we were like, even in like that short preseason, like, we were just like really impressed with what we were seeing. And I think the league has just caught on to like what he likes to do. And like, he's hit that rookie wall a little bit. I remember stating last week, he had like the Tony Snell game, 0.0 rebounds, 0 assists, 28 minutes. But like,
ever since I hit on him having that one bet where it's like plus 4,500 for his career high.
Yeah.
It's been quickly downhill.
Yeah. So like I said, he's hit like that rookie wall, but like, I do think, like, like you said, give him a full off season, working with trainers and stuff and getting better on the game. Like, I love watching him dribble the ball up the court. Like, that's something.
Here's who we got left to play. We got the Heat again tomorrow, Monday. And then we go to New York against the Knicks. Then we're at home against Milwaukee. And then we're at Atlanta. And then we're at home against the 76ers. Then we're on the road against Charlotte, who's playing decent basketball, but they're without LaMelo. Then we're at home against the Celtics, at Detroit. Then we're at home against the Nets and Raptors. And then we're at the Nets. And then we're at home against the Bucks.
I heard Detroit, and that's it.
Yeah.
That might be an easy series.
So, Cody, you think we can get on a run?
I mean, they just beat Boston the other day on the road. Like, the team is so inconsistent. You just don't know what they're going to do, man. And by the end of the year, you think the Nets are going to be playing their full roster when they've already locked up a playoff spot? Like, there are a lot of scenarios I think that could happen where, and even the Bucks too. Like, they're not going to they're by the time the Bulls play those last couple games, those teams are going to be sitting their guys for the playoffs. At least right now, as we speak, I would assume. Do I think that they can do it and like would I bet on that to happen? No, because they're just so inconsistent. But I think it could happen.
Here's what I see. I see a real opportunity for us to lose a whole bunch of basketball games that are real close.
Sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, again, I understand exactly where you're coming from, guys. I do. I just I've already said it. So it just sucks. I had higher hopes, man. I had higher hopes for this season. So, and it wasn't even like Eastern Conference Finals. It was just like
now, if they announce that the UC will have fans starting in May.
Lori Lightfoot did say like a week ago that expect to see fans back at the UC before the end of the year. So,
aren't they like one of the only stadiums in the entire
they're
league?
one of three.
Yeah.
Anyway,
thanks.
So the Bulls are currently dead. The Blackhawks are they dead? I feel like they're dead after losing 2 or 3 to the.
They're dead.
They just re-signed somebody, or they just extended.
They did.
Somebody
They extended someone.
Right?
They extended someone this morning.
They, I mean, they really their only shot. The win against the Preds.
Stillman.
They were trailing 4-1 in that one game that they won.
Yeah, they came back. They won an OT, which was nice. You would have preferred if they would have won outright. Which, I mean, when you come back down 3 goals with 9 minutes left or whatever, great. But really, what you needed was to win outright and not let the Preds get a point. And said, we lost outright, so we're pretty much fucked. I don't think mathematically yet, but basically, what we need to do is win like damn near every game outright. Like not even get like the point in a win. Mm-hmm. It's like we have to win because now we have to jump Dallas and Nashville. And the Dallas Stars are playing very, 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 very good hockey. So we're done. I mean, unfortunately, it would be a miracle if we got in, but again, like the expectations weren't high. There were good news though. That's honestly made me feel 10 times better about the Blackhawks. I think on Wednesday, they announced that there's a solid chance Jonathan Toews will be returning next year.
Yeah, I did see that.
So, which like soothed me just on an odd level because, I mean, the reports that everyone's all online of him having
the ALS.
ALS was like, fuck, dude, like that sucks. And you hear that, and then you hear about the Steve McMichael, the Mongo having ALS, and it's like, fuck, dude, that fucking sucks. But hearing he has come back, it's just the only odd thing still has been like the lack of clarity, which is like typical in hockey, but not even to this extent. They're just like, look, he's not playing this year. It's like, why? It's like he's out, he's hurt, whatever. So I don't know what it is. But they said that he's making progress and he's progressing to the point that he may come back next season. This, like, one report said there's a shot he comes back this year, and it's like, fucking no. Like, even if he were to come back, you got to come back and get yourself conditioned for NHL hockey. Like, that's not happening if he hasn't played in over a year. But him coming back next year, coming back with a young roster, we're not going to have a fantastic pick this year, but we're not going to have a horrible pick. So we got some stuff coming up in the pipeline. But yeah, I like what we have. I don't know.
I think what the biggest disappointment is just like you had this core guys that you would hope that or like at least Patrick Kane is like in the prime of his career, I feel like, and you just kind of shitting it away. I guess like I think that's the biggest like thing that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. But the only why I think the window with Kane is like wider than a lot of like. Not that I'm a diehard hockey fan, but what many hockey fans, like casual hockey fans, think of like the prime window, I think it's actually longer than people would think, especially for a player like Kane in today's modern hockey. Is that when you watch hockey, you notice specifically the Blackhawks. When you watch like Patrick Kane, there's not a lot of like big contact plays with Kane, right? He like kind of is slippery and avoids big hits, and he like take care of himself on the ice. That way he's just avoiding, just like little like tenuous, bumps and bruises along the road. And, playing like that will obviously, I think, extend a guy like his career. Mm-hmm. So I think that might extend that window where we think, okay, maybe we only got 2 years left with Kane in his prime. Well, I think it may be closer to like 4, maybe 5. I think that fade into obscurity with Kane is going to last. It is further off in the distance than many people think. I don't know if you guys like disagree or agree with that, but
Sean, you haven't really said anything. What do you think?
No, I'd have to agree. And I think one of the things that maybe I could bring this to you guys too. You've been seeing what's been happening with Patrick Marleau. He's like played 4,000 games or something like that, and he's basically getting a line of handshakes just for himself at the end of every game. I mean, that's what I'm thinking Patrick Kane's going to be if he keeps this up.
Yep.
And who knows, 8 years from now, 6 to 8 years from now, could totally be looking at something like that.
And I think, next year, we're going to have hopefully a full season with Kirby Doc, and who knows what the goalie situation is going to be like. You got Lankinen and Subban, who's like, goaltending hasn't been a problem this year with the Hawks for the most part. It hasn't been like lights out, but it hasn't been bad.
Subban's been a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
He's been a pleasant surprise.
But it's, I think it's the biggest problem with the Hawks is those surrounding the net. It's the defensemen that have not been good. And I think if we address that in free agency and in the draft and having a full off season with Colleton, who knows? Maybe there's like a shot at the playoffs next year.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, RIP, R.I.P. You want to know who was also dead, guys?
Who?
The Chicago Bears. They're always dead, man. You guys excited for the draft? I know last week I kind of talked about how I don't.
Yeah. What day is it? What day?
Is it like Thursday?
Thursday.
Yeah.
Are the Bears going to trade up for a quarterback?
What? Okay. If they trade up for a quarterback, and let's not even talk about who the quarterback is, but if they did trade up for a quarterback, would we be mad of the idea of trading up for a quarterback?
Are we talking like first round? Like
first round, yeah.
Top 5 quarterbacks? I don't know. I guess it's 2 things. One, who's going to fall to, because they're pretty much going to have the last choice out of the top 5 quarterbacks.
Do you think the five will they all go in the top 10?
Probably top 15.
Okay.
I just don't know. So it's like the San Francisco question. They said they know who they're going to pick, but is it Mac Jones, Justin Fields? Like, no. Once that domino falls, everything else is going to fall. But no one has any idea at this point. So I don't know if it's Trey Lance that falls.
They traded up for that spot. I feel like they're going to take Fields personally, but that's just me.
I don't know.
I think Fields would be really good in that Shanahan offense.
I don't think Mac Jones has the arm for it, but I don't know, dude. I'm letting Jesus take the wheel this year, man.
Have you guys seen the reports that they think Mac Jones is like this next level genius?
Yeah, they said people were saying that he's one of the smartest interviews they've ever had.
Yep.
But I'm saying, like, again, like you pair that though with highlight tapes of him consistently underthrowing receivers down the field as they're wide open, So I don't know, man. I don't know. Everything's pain.
If they didn't, are you still trying to get up for like Kellen Mond.
Yeah, and the third.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling they're going to, of course, it's like they need a quarterback, so they're going to take him way early in the second when he should be third, fourth. There's also talks of Davis Mills from Stanford. Like he's one of the few guys I actually watched tape with. But
I mean,
Trubisky 2.0, he barely played.
I mean, you got to think that Ryan Pace has got to be so gun shy. Like, if the opportunity arose for him to go up, even if it's 2 picks to get a quarterback, you think he's got to be like,
no, because his job's on the line now.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's like he's got to be just sweating bullets.
This is like the biggest. Like, you thought him taking Mitch Trubisky was the biggest move of his career.
Here's the thing, though.
This week will be the biggest week of his career.
Sean, you've mentioned it before. If he does get a guy like Davis Mills or Kellen Mond or Kyle, somebody in the second, third round, it's going to buy him
at least another 2 years.
2 years,
right?
So I mean,
and this is the thing. Like, no one knows what his contract looks like. Like you hear Chris Ballard from Indiana, or even Dave Gettleman out in New York talking about draft strategy and all this stuff, and Ryan Pace is just nothing.
Can we get Louis Riddick on the damn show so we can just have someone who's on our team who's just like, Ryan Pace is a fucking idiot. He fucks everything up.
No, Louis Riddick. Oh no, he loves Matt Nagy.
He needs to be. Louis Riddick needs to be the next GM of the Bears. I'm going to start that bandwagon.
I think
he needs to be the VP of the Bears.
Yeah, Louis Riddick, he might be the biggest Bears stan out there in terms of the media, because he was high on Mitch when people were like trying to define like if he was good or not, and then all these things he's said about them. Like, I'd love for Louis Riddick to be their the GM or whatever. I'd love him to be part of the organization. He fucking cares.
I think he has a good vision of what a good football team is. I don't know if Ryan
Pace his energy is like, I'm tired of this team just fucking shit up, so I want to take over.
Right.
All right.
I think, again, like, Ryan Pace is a glorified scout. Louis Riddick is a guy that can make decisions. Like, I feel like those two combined into a VP GM combo, it'd be pretty good. But we'll never see it happen because it's the McCaskies. They're not going to change shit.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I think in the draft, we've talked about, Jalen Waddle. We talked about like offensive linemen, and with that first pick, if they don't trade up, I mean, if the Bears are really, really like they kept saying, Andy Dalton QB1, like the fucking tweet that gave me lots of pain.
Decent. I think he'll be decent.
I actually do too. Not good, but like
better than
good
Mitch.
Enough. Better than Mitch, okay. All right. So if they're like high on, like legit high on him, then I think they need to go like offensive line, to protect him, because he's not really a mobile guy, and obviously Nick Foles was not good.
He's mobile-ish.
Yeah, like I think you just got to protect him as much.
Foles and Mitch.
Right. And then, you can get guys in the second, third, fourth round, like playmakers and stuff. We just sitting here slandering Ryan Pace, but he's done well later on in the draft. It's the first round where he's really sucked. I think if they're really just ready to just go to war with Andy fucking Dalton, then we got to fucking protect him. So there's my 2 cents. I don't think I've really given my 2 cents on who to take. I've been like in and out and just like trying to ignore the fact that I am a Bears fan, and just dealing with the fact that they exist for like the last 3 months.
My biggest gripe, and obviously we've talked about it with Andy Dalton, was the fact that we were teased Russell Wilson to the point where they had a meeting in the same room with the Seahawks owner or GM or whoever, and didn't get a deal done. We were teased that for like 6 weeks. And then you come out of that with Andy Dalton, and it's like, fuck me. That's like, you're telling me you're going to give me this like amazing, sirloin or T-bone steak from Chicago Cut Steakhouse, and you come back with like a McDouble. Like, fuck me, dude. But here's the thing, and then the other side of it was that Andy Dalton was available last year.
That's what I was gonna say.
For half as much, and then no picks that we got for Nick Foles, and now we have both of them. Whatever, but like, fuck.
Yeah, that's the thing that pisses me off the most is the contract thing. Yeah,
like to Sean's point, I think Dalton, like, we're not gonna. I don't think he'll be bad. Like, I don't think the Bears are in a window to tank, like lose or tank or whatever. I think he'll be better than any quarterback we've had the past couple of years. But like, still not great. And I think a great quarterback is awaiting us in this or next year's draft. But here's the thing. If we get a quarterback this year, do what we need to do next year? We need to draft another quarterback in like the 5th or 6th round. Remember that whole saying about 5-6 years ago? Draft a quarterback every year.
Yep.
That was fucking cute. I'm gonna wake up and do 100 push-ups every day. Spot the lie.
Well said. Yeah, I don't know, man. This window for the defense, this might be the last year. Last year.
And here's the thing. That's another point too. Is just like
this team got old
like,
very fast.
If we get a new front office like regime takeover, we got pieces on that defense that could turn this into a rebuild very quickly, and they could do a very good job with it.
Yeah.
And turning players into picks and like lowering this, like the
Dolphins, like the Dolphins did.
Yeah, like it can be done very easily, and I think very well done with the proper regime change.
Yeah. All right.
As long as it's under the McCaskey's control, it's never going to happen.
True.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it just comes down to, it's the McCaskey. So it's just pain every year after year. Yeah.
There's so much hope, like especially with the Lions, like a team in the division, brand new head coach, brand new GM, bringing in some new blood in the regime. Things are looking up.
Breaking news. I was just recently indoctrinated into the Morale family from Dom Frederick. Taylor McGregor was just indoctrinated today as well.
Is it probably because of is it because Marquee put up the graphic on their TV or on the network saying that
so she talked about that. She talked about the morale blend, but she also said Church of Jake and then tagged Dom in it.
Oh, nice.
And then he welcomed her into the family. So
congrats to her. A round of applause.
+1.
Before we get to our last segments, I do want to mention Illinois might lose like 2 of their best recruiters to Kentucky, which sucks. We'll see what happens, but I don't really have much to say about it. It's just that even if they do leave, like, I still have hope, because as long as Brad Underwood is around, I think we'll be okay. But a lot of Illini Twitter was like freaking out today. Like a guy we were going to have on the show, Mike Carpenter, he does a 200 level podcast. He was like hire D Brown and I think it was either Darren Williams or Luther had one, like 2 guys that were from the 05 team. He was like, if these guys leave, hire these 2 guys, like former players. D Brown's he's a assistant coach, whatever. I don't know what the rest of them are doing with their lives, but he said to hire those guys if they do in fact leave. Again, I we'll see what happens. I hope they don't
so
leave.
the Kentucky, like they lost their main, like their head, like recruiter, head of basketball scouting operator or whatever it was they call it. Mm-hmm. He left for an NBA team. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what who they're looking at replacing. And it's like, God damn it, fuck. Like, whatever. But I agree. Like, as long as Underwood's there and puts a good product on the court, I think that's going to be the biggest selling point for the university's basketball team. So
for sure. All right, let's
while we're on Illini too, the coach from Blue Mountain State saying "Go Illini."
Oh yeah, Illinois football back. Yeah, Luke Ford. Luke Ford. I don't know if Luke Ford got a cameo or something.
I would
for
say
him.
I thought it was a cameo, but either way,
Yeah.
like I don't even give a
Blue
shit.
Mountain State, one of my favorite shows ever. I saw
Yeah.
that. I saw. So what happened? I saw Sean liked it, and then I tagged Sean in it. That's fucking choice, dude. Fucking perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was great. I love that. Yeah, shout out to him.
Go Goats. Go Goats.
Go
Go
Goats.
Illini.
Go Illini. All right, let's do cool and tough, lame and weak, and shower room of the week. My cool and tough and lame week kind of go together, so I want to go last.
I'll start.
So
I'll start, and it was tweeted by the Sky is Falling account. Montana Tech football coach Bob Green. His video of all his mannerisms just went viral for it felt like a week straight of just everyone was retweeting it.
Did he like retire or something?
I have no idea.
So that went re-viral. I can't remember what caused it to go re-viral. That actually went viral a couple years ago because that was on was very prevalent with college football, like fall of 2019 or something. Because that was because that's like a D3 football program, isn't there? A junior football.
I have no idea.
Junior college football.
It's like Montana State. Is it
Montana Tech?
Montana.
Oh,
Tech.
that's a fake ass school. Yeah, that's got to be D2 or D3. Ah, shit. All right, lead off double for the Brewers. All right, boys, let's wrap this shit up.
All right.
But yeah, my favorite one out of all of them. He said, "Yeah, they took control early," and they're talking about a game. He's like, "They took control early," and it's like, it's like the first day of marriage. Your wife takes control the first day of marriage. That was the funniest shit.
His mannerisms are great. Yeah.
Yeah. If you find it, there's probably like 10 to 12 good little quips from this guy.
Just go look at the Skies Falling Twitter account. It's on there. I retweeted it the other day from Sean.
And he's one of those guys who's like that school. He's just like an employee at the school. Like he's going to be a coach there for, he's probably been a coach there for 20 years. He's going to stay there for another 20 years the day he feels like he just wants to go golfing every day. You know what I mean?
All right.
Absolutely.
So shit.
Tommy.
Runners at the corners now. Sorry, I'm distracted. Got the game on. Cool and tough. I got 2-1. I texted Cody. I'm trying.
No, you're good, man. This is a tale as old as time on this show. Honestly,
I'm like a chameleon with my eyes. I texted Cody. I was fired up last night. I got followed by Dom after he welcomed me to the Morale family and Obvious Shirts on Twitter. Like, awesome. And I think they followed you, Cody, and like they just followed. Obvious Shirts just followed me out of nowhere because apparently the office printer at SE headquarters is like boosting me and Cubs Twitter for whatever reason.
Obvious Shirts followed me a while back, and that's because they've seen a lot of Joe has seen a lot of our just recap post game for Cubs on Tap, and I think we might be in the works for some sort of relationship with him. So I'm not sure yet, but yeah, it's positive vibes. Yeah.
Next is you guys probably saw this and Sean, you probably know the verbiage here, but DMX, his procession, is that correct? For like it sounds right. I'm just gonna say procession. Basically, they went on like the drive around the neighborhood or whatever, and with his casket in a DMX Rough Riders monster truck. Like that was fucking cool and tough, dude. They had like some of his OG buddies and OGs with him in that monster truck, and they were just playing his music and vibing out around the block. And really, I think society, both in person and on the internet's done a fantastic job with DMX, and the fact that it's been nothing but a celebration of his life and career, and we haven't had any slander or bullshit. Like Cody, I know you saw a lot of it, and we've talked about it before with fucking Kobe Bryant, who we thought when he died it would be an immediate escalation to legendary status, and there were still people who took time out of their day to
story to get clicks.
Yeah. And I haven't seen
Alicia Salmonez forever in the show.
There we go. And I haven't seen a lot of that with DMX, or I haven't seen any of it really with DMX, and that's been awesome to see.
Yeah, no, I agree. And especially because I don't want to say he was controversial. He's just like, he was in and out of jail a lot, and he wasn't a perfect guy.
He had a life, man. He had a life.
Yeah, right. All right. So my cool and tough and Layman week kind of, like I said, they go together. But my cool and tough is Nick Castellanos, because he hit a home run in St. Louis, and just kind of, he did a nice little slow jog around, whatever, and especially after getting suspended for the dumbest thing ever, for flexing, in his or not his post game, but like I think it was whenever it was announced, everyone just like, or he was in a presser or whatever, and they asked him how he felt whenever the news came out, and he was like, he just simply said, "It sucks." So anyway, like I said, these coincide together. Him hitting a home run. What's Layman week is the best fans in baseball in St. Louis booing him as he trotted around the bases, because quite literally, Cardinals fans are booing Nick Castellanos because he flexed on fucking whoever that pitcher was in that game. Whenever St. Louis literally hit him, and then he came back with them and bat flipped or whatever it was. And then the whole brawl thing happened, and Yadier Molina is the one grabbing his neck in that quote unquote brawl, if you want to call it that. So the best fans of baseball is just, as always, Layman week for just quite literally being themselves, honestly. Yeah, and then just like the Nick Castellanos suspension in general, like he shouldn't have been suspended. No one should have been suspended. If anyone should have been suspended, it should have been Yadier Molina. And that's not from my own bias. That's from the fact that he literally grabbed Nick Castellanos when he was trying to walk away. Yeah, so fuck the entire state of Missouri and fuck St. Louis. That's all I got.
Word.
Who wants to go next? Unless you guys have any comments.
No, I agree. It's the same story, different day with that crew. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same story, different day. Yep.
I have Dean Norris in my Layman week, and for those who don't know who Dean Norris is, it's Uncle Hank in Breaking Bad. So recently, this was a while ago. This was May 23rd, 2018. I don't know why this is going viral again, but
I saw some of the tweets about it though. So
yeah. It's just his one tweet on May 23rd, 2018 was sex gifts. That was it.
Yeah.
So the memes that have been popping up. Go ahead.
Well, no, you can go ahead. You go ahead. Yeah, I was going to say
the memes that have been popping up have been all Breaking Bad related with Heisenberg, which is just the funniest shit ever. Just using the context of Breaking Bad to meme this tweet from 3 years ago.
Sex gifts.
I like the one where it's oh fuck, I can't. I'm trying to think of the characters. Who was the main character in Breaking Bad?
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston in the car saying, "Hank, no, that's not a search engine, not the search engine." And then it was just like a passed out Bryan Cranston on the ground after.
That's the exact one I'm looking at right now.
Sex gifts.
It's so funny. Like I say it almost. You mentioned it, Cody. Almost every single week, there's something I like in my Layman week, Shadow Realm, whatever you want to call it, that involves a meme.
Yep.
And if there's one thing that the world can do in the signs of a catastrophe is make great memes out of it.
Oh yeah.
I'm waiting for like the next celebrity to be like on a porn site and then hit the like share option on accident.
Is that a thing?
I think so. It used to be on like sites you could hit like the upload button,
share on
and
Facebook?
it'd be like share, yeah, like share to Twitter or Facebook or Snapchat or iMessage or whatever. That'll happen.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys watched any UFC weekend or any fighting.
Just the highlights.
I didn't watch any. Yeah, I didn't watch any rough or rowdy. I did watch quite a bit, some of the UFC stuff, but my fucking area just walked in and run. Reel it in. Okay. Was it Masvidal, the fighter who's like came up from nothing, was dancing in front of Usman, and then was promptly 4 seconds later knocked the fuck out.
Clean.
I mean, I like the meme. They're like, Usman turned him into the Sprite commercial with LeBron James.
the Drake
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, and because when he knocked him out, like I remember watching
Just
it.
like
I saw watching it, and it's just like you saw a cloud of just spit.
Yeah, just sweat.
And just knocked him clean the fuck out. And that was just the funniest thing I've ever fucking seen in my life because he's laughing and dancing, and then just immediately just gets clocked right in the fucking face.
Yeah, no,
down, man.
there were memes from that too.
Was it like the Nate Robinson meme, like those?
Yeah. Like there's a picture of how do you say his name? Usman,
Yeah.
Of like the ref like holding him back, and then just like the other guy like flat on the ground. I memed it today because it's Jake Arrieta's day to start, and I was like me on Usman, and then quote Jake Arrieta uses steroids because I see that a lot on fucking Twitter all the time of people slandering him, and then you like questioning him using steroids. Which, by the way, I also would like. If he did, whatever, because I'm a big advocate of bringing steroids back, but they're using it as a way to slander Jake Arrieta, and I just will never have that. So, yeah, I kind of memed it myself. It's on my Twitter timeline. Yeah, that was. I wish I would have watched the fight because that would have been fun to see live. But yeah. Anyway, Shadow Realm of the week. I got two. All right, so like a couple weeks ago, put David Dobrik in the Shadow Realm. Well, he's back because he almost like killed one of his vlog squad guys. It's kind of
was this the bulldozer story?
That's what
you call those. The giant shovel thing.
Yeah, basically, I guess excavator. That's the word.
Is that actually what it is?
It was an excavator. Yeah. He literally almost killed one of his friends, so he's just literally being an idiot. And he's there, I guess it's part of like this documentary that him and his crew were making, because I guess they haven't been making vlogs during COVID. I don't know. And obviously he's got all that other shit from like a couple weeks ago, a month ago, whatever. So it's just another bad look for David Dobrik because he, like I said, he quite literally almost killed his friend. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this like kind of plays out, because like if I was his friend, I'd be suing the shit out of him. But so that, and then my other Shadow Realm of the week is Brett Favre, because a week ago he said athletes should stick to sports, but then this week he commented on. He did. He basically said,
so funny.
Like 2 weeks ago,
so much funnier.
Right. 2 weeks ago, he said like athletes should stick to sports. And then after the Derek Chauvin case came out, he said something along the lines of he didn't think that Derek Chauvin was trying to kill George Floyd, whatever, like, which is whatever, whatever he thinks. Well, you can agree or disagree on that. But the reason that it's like stupid is because he literally said athletes should stick to sports. And then he actually commented on publicly about this case. And it's just like, bruh. You hate to see such stupidity. It's literally like, it kind of makes you think this guy has CTE probably.
Oh my god. His brain is scrambled eggs.
Cue laughter.
So, yeah. Anyway.
Yikes.
Any thoughts? If not, we can move on.
I just wonder, like, what a like quick, like just like fall from fame
for David Dobrik.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, for Dobrik.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you said it when we talked about him like a couple weeks ago. Like, he'll be back. It's just going to take it's going to take a long time.
A lot of time, and it's going to be like incremental. But yep, I agree.
Yeah.
Lighter note, I have Roger Goodell in my Shadow Realm. Of course, it was news. Oh, he's getting vaccinated so he could hug players. Who gives a shit, dude?
That. Yeah,
There's gonna be 12 players for the first round.
I hope Zach Wilson comes up and just spits right in his mouth.
Did you see that picture? I can't remember who. Maybe it was like a tackle or someone on the O line, but he was like literally nose to nose with this dude, like about to make out. Yikes, Roger Goodell. Just when we thought we were seeing a low with the whole Mike Portnoy situation, now we all know you're getting vaccinated. Congratulations.
Yep.
Thank you for wasting my time.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I'm gonna show this video real quick. Can you guys see this guy's leg?
Yep.
Oh my god!
I love how he's, and I love if you
Oh,
bring it down a little bit, he doesn't. It's like he doesn't even notice because of the adrenaline.
boom!
It's like he does. He was about. He steps. Wait, play the whole thing because then he steps back
It's really
like it didn't. Like
great
nothing
visual,
happened.
terrible audio.
Yeah, if you guys are watching live, I'm playing a video of Chris Weidman's leg just snapping.
Oh,
So
I
he
can't.
kicks it and then he's about to get back in his stance and his and then his leg just like
Is it so? Is this guy's leg in the shadow realm?
It's the shadow realm. Chris Weidman's leg.
leg bones in the shadow.
I mean that thing that thing snapped like a pretzel rod, bro. That like a stale baguette, dude. Just gone.
But not only that, but it's like it's still encased. So it's like if you had a baguette in a bag and then it snapped
like
and the bag was still
sausage
intact.
Casing, dude.
Yeah.
Right.
That guy's
rip. He's done.
Like, I saw that.
Done.
That was
He's
trending
out.
last night, and then like I saw the video of Kevin Ware, and then Paul
Oh,
George.
I remember that.
And
I remember that like yesterday.
Sleeping tonight, man.
Yeah,
like that
that's
is bad.
Yeah, that's some of the worst ones I've ever seen.
So I remember when the Kevin Ware thing happened. I was in a what class was I in college? It was what's the study of like bones and
anatomy.
Anatomy, yeah. Jesus, I got a C in that class so clearly.
TBT.
But I remember that class that happened the next day. The teacher put the picture on like the big screen for the whole 90-minute class, and I'm just like in the front row, just like I was like, she's like, look at it, and I'm like, I don't want to. Please stop.
Yeah, I remember I was in Mexico. While that happened, like drinking beer for the first time in my life.
Nice. Good for you, man.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's the show.
I have another cool. Preliminary cool and tough. Mortal Kombat dropped on Friday. Do you guys see it?
I have not watched it yet.
It was
HBO
sick.
Max though, right?
Yeah, it was sick. I definitely recommend watching it.
All right, I like it.
Yeah, update, Sean. Have you started watching Invincible?
No.
Oh, bro.
Invincible. Oh yeah. I haven't started it yet.
So good. Sean,
I feel like I've barely been watching TV lately.
Same.
You just need to like set aside a day where you just got like 7 hours of like thrill ride animated TV.
Yeah,
it's so damn good.
Okay,
I agree. All right, guys. Well, that's the show. I want to remind everyone to head on over to OnTapSportsNet.com to get all your Chicago sports needs. You can follow us on Twitter at Skies Falling Pod and the Skies Falling Pod on Instagram. You can follow me at Cody on Tap, Tommy official _ T-Long, and Sean Con 3 for Sean. Hope everyone has a great week. Sun. I think the sun's going to be out most of the week. No bad weather. I know rain.
It's supposed to get warm.
A little. Yeah,
this week.
May is coming. Got one more week of April, so May is coming. I'm gonna be 30 in less than a month, so rip in peace.
God damn.
Yeah. Also, Garrett from Iowa. I tweeted out at the beginning of the week. I was like, if there was something we could improve about this show, like what would it be, or what is something I could improve on for myself about this show? And he literally replied saying, "Stop saying rip in peace." And I'm like, that would be really hard for me to do. And I'm pretty sure I've said it like 5 times this show. So we'll see if that ever happens. But yeah, anyway.
If I can have one improvement for Garrett from Iowa, it's to check the timeline.
Yeah, he like wanted us to like put the Dom tweet out.
Dom has the receipts. It's like, dog, we already released the video. Like, calm down.
Yeah, did you not see it, man? Yeah.
Jesse saw that. Jesse Rogers saw that.
Oh, video. He definitely saw that. And again, I was afraid to put it out a little bit, but then I wasn't at the same time because it's like, whatever. And it played. Yeah, it's some decent play. And maybe he would have replied if it like went viral, but whatever. Speaking of that podcast we did in the midweek, thanks to, I just like, if you listen to that, a few people reached out to me and said that they really love that show in general. So thanks to all those people who did that. That's nice. I always like getting compliments on the show. So keep them coming. And we'll be back either in the midweek or next Sunday. But yeah, Tommy, you want to close this thing out?
Yeah,
Sean,
I mean,
you guys got any thoughts on anything before we get out of here?
What an amazing episode. I mean, Sean just coming in and dropping the bomb that he went to a strip club. Like, that's what makes the show great. Like, who saw that coming? Not me.
Not me. I
That
definitely
was-
see that look.
Because see, that's the type of thing that's going to be content with me forever. I'll never forget that. And I will reach back. That's always going to be in my back pocket. I love it. I absolutely love it. But again,
White boy summer, dude.
white boy summer.
White boy summer.
Oh my God. On that note, let's just hit the damn music.